Welcome to LyFiveElements, where we are dedicated to sharing the wisdom of traditional Chinese metaphysics with the world. Our mission is to teach complex subjects like the four pillars of destiny, also known as Bazi, Qimen, Feng Shui, and more, in simple, easy to understand English. Subscribe and share our content to help spread this ancient knowledge. Your support is what drives us forward. We also offer personalized one-on-one consultations to guide you on your metaphysical journey. Feel free to leave a comment or contact us directly for more information. Thank you for being part of our community. Hello everyone, I'm Mari. Welcome to our intermediate course on Bazi analysis. Today's topic is about the balance of dryness and moisture in the four pillars of destiny. In our last lesson, we shared 6 key criteria for evaluating the quality of a Bazi chart. Among them, the second criterion, the balance of dryness and moisture, is a particularly important one. So what kind of problems can arise when this balance is disrupted? In life, we live in environments that can be either dry or humid. And just like nature, if our bodies become too dry or too damp, problems can start to show up. That's why balance, or what we call the middle way, is the healthiest and most ideal state. When a person is excessively wet in nature, it is referred to as being stagnant and unaccomplished. What does this mean? It means that in their Bazi, the proportion of the 5 elements, specifically water and fire, is meant to be balanced between dryness and moisture. However, when water is overly dominant, the body tends to retain excessive dampness. What happens when there is too much dampness? A person may become lazy, and the body may develop certain illnesses. As a result, their life path is likely to face more obstacles and fewer smooth periods, making it difficult to achieve great success. The ideal state is one of balance. If the moisture becomes excessive, situations like this arise when there are more hindrances than opportunities. Excessive dryness means there is too much fire. What happens to someone who is overly dry? This is referred to as being intense and prone to misfortune. What does that mean? A person with an overly strong fire element in their Bazi tends to have a fierce temperament and act impulsively, often causing trouble. This too is undesirable. In any case, balance is always the best. Neither too much fire nor too much water. When analyzing a Bazi chart in the future, you need to pay special attention to proportions of fire and water. In most cases, the amount of fire and water are easy to identify, but there are 4 earthly branches: Chen, Xu, Chou, and Wei that represent the element of earth and are changeable in nature. I especially want to talk about these 4 earth elements. They represent the last month of each season. We covered this in our beginner course before. They are called the 4 seasonal earth. Refer to lesson 14 on earthly branches of the beginner course. The 4 seasonal earth are quite unusual because sometimes they transform into water and other times into fire. How exactly do they change? First, we need to understand the primary, secondary, and residual energies of these 4 earthly branches and which elements they are composed of. The residual energy of Chen contains Gui water. The secondary energy of Chou also contains Gui water. Chen earth is the damp soil of spring, while Chou earth represents the last month of winter. It is a frozen soil that also contains water. Therefore, they are subject to change. How do they change? Sometimes they exhibit both earth and water properties. Sometimes they only show earth characteristics and other times only water. How exactly does this manifest? First, understand Chen and Chou as types of muddy soil. When there is more fire in the Bazi, the mud dries out, causing the water nature in Chen and Chou to disappear. So they are regarded as earth. But if there is more water in the Bazi, it adds moisture to Chen and Chou. And then these two are regarded as water rather than earth. They effectively become water. So Chen and Chou are variable. When overly wet, they become water. When fire is abundant, they become earth. Now, let's look at Shi earth and Wei earth. These are considered dry types of soil, possessing both earth and fire characteristics. Looking at Shi, its residue energy contains Ting fire, and in Wei, Ting fire appears as a secondary energy. So both of these earth branches conceal fire within them, and they too can undergo transformation. When there is an abundance of water in the chart, it extinguishes the hidden fire, making them pure, dry earth. In this case, they are treated purely as earth. However, when there is a lot of fire in the chart, Shi and Wei are no longer regarded as earth, but instead treated as fire in terms of the five elements. Let's look at the Bazi case. The person was born in the 12th lunar month. The Chou earth of the 12th month is frozen soil and contains Gui water. Above the Chou is Ting fire, and to its right is Wu fire. These two fires shine upon the frozen soil, warming it and transforming it into true earth. Therefore, in this case, Chou is regarded as earth. The elemental composition in this Bazi chart makes the balance of water and fire easy to see. There is one Ting fire and one Wu fire, making two fire elements, and only one high water. This chart leans towards dryness. A person with such a dry constitution is more prone to internal heat and may often feel a nameless anger rising within. They may have sudden bursts of temper from time to time. This is a typical manifestation of dryness and is important for everyone to understand this. When there is an abundance of water in the chart, Chen and Chou are no longer regarded as earth, but as water. This is because Chou already contains water within it. You can think of it as muddy soil. When more water is added, it completely turns into a puddle of water and is no longer considered earth. Therefore, the four earthly branches, Chen, Xu, Chou, and Wei, are changeable in nature, and this is something important for everyone to remember. Let's look at another Bazi chart. This person has a Ren water day master and was also born in the month of Chou. Looking at the Chou earth, to its left is high water. Above, to the right, is Ren water. And to the right of Ren is Gui water. Although there is a Ting fire above the Chou, the three surrounding water elements overpower it, transforming Chou into a water-dominant element. Now let's look at the day branch. Xu, which is normally dry earth. However, due to the excessive water in the chart, the thing fire hidden in Shi is extinguished, making Shi pure earth. Therefore, it is not counted as fire. So for people born on these days, it effectively becomes 4 water elements. Hai, Chou, Ren, and Gui, making water dominant in this Bazi, with very little fire present. This person's Bazi is relatively moist. What happens when it's overly moist? You can make certain judgments, for example, loose stools, excessive dampness in the body, and frequent diarrhea. Also, since the person was born in winter, in the 12th lunar month, with so much water present, it's likely they often have cold hands and feet and poor circulation. As we mentioned earlier, people with excessive moisture in their chart tend to face more obstacles in life and often encounter difficulties when trying to accomplish things. On the other hand, those who are too dry tend to have a rough and impulsive temperament, making them more prone to causing trouble. This highlights the importance of balancing dryness and moisture. It's not just about the ratio of water and fire. You must also consider the presence and transformation of the 4 earthly branches, Chen, Xu, Chou, and Wei. So this key concept is something everyone should remember from today's lesson. Don't miss out. Hit subscribe and share to join us on this incredible journey of discovery. Your support fuels our passion to keep creating. Any questions or need personalized guidance? Leave us a comment or get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being part of the LyFiveElements family. If anything is unclear, feel free to drop a comment below. I would love to discuss and explore these topics with you. And for those of you who want to understand your Bazi chart but find the learning process too complicated, you can always message me for a one-on-one consultation. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Your support truly motivates me to keep sharing this knowledge. See you in the next lesson.